Hi there. Welcome to week 2 of Virgo. This is August 30th through September 5th. Around there is the second week of Virgo that we'll be talking about today and the aspects that are going on during that week. First thing is we're going to pull up a chart because there's a couple big themes this week, and Mars is super in play this week, as it was with that new moon of August 27th. So following the theme of that moon, we have an aspect that moves in that is Mercury, which is now in Libra at 3 degrees Libra, is in a trine with Mars at 5 degrees Gemini. So trines are of the nature of, we like these, they're a little bit easier. These could tend to be a little bit more graceful. So when I look at this in the air signs of Libra and Gemini, of the places where we connect our words, our minds, our bodies are with other people, I think about, and that it's in a trine aspect, I think about this is idea flow. This is idea flow up here, idea flow out of here, and idea flow here, interacting between you and others. So this is cool because this is in play for like 2 weeks, through like September 14th or 15th. They are in what we call a degree orb. And so these next 2 weeks, these first 2 weeks of September are great for idea flow, for let's say brainstorming, huge brainstorming time. Writing this could be really, it's going to be quick. But it's a really good time to be writing. But thinking about words and ideas and connection, and even an interesting time to be talking about, to be actually writing or talking about relationships. This is a really good time for this. At the same time, Mars in Gemini is sextiling Jupiter in Aries. So again, we've got this fire and air energy supporting this trine with air and air energy. So there's a lot of there's just a lot of juju in this week. There's a lot of movement, both body and mind, and being with others. It's an interesting time. You might find that you're really a little more social, that you want to be with people, that you're like wanting to go to meetings or wanting to go to more social events. I'm even thinking about, like, in my little town here, we have movies at the library, like a time to go, like, have something for your mind to chew on, like documentaries at the library and things like that. So really, like, it's a great time to be studying documentaries, and anything like that. So both like researching and studying, as well as outputting ideas. And the two of them obviously go hand in hand, because you take in stuff and then you chew on it and then you spit it out. So this is a really interesting time for all of that. So very cool. Yeah. So again, now we're going to go to following on that theme on September 2nd. It's exact degree on September 2nd. We have Mercury in Libra opposite Jupiter in Aries, while it is still sextiling Mars. So now everybody's in play. Now these guys are all working together. So the thing about Jupiter that I was playing with, I talked about there's so many different things you can talk about with these different things, but one thing I talked about in the overview was, actually, what did I talk about with that? I don't remember exactly what I talked about in there, but what I know I wanted to talk about here, to drill down a little bit more, is Mercury opposite Jupiter is a storyteller. So we think about, this is like, this literally can be anything, like the stories, like Bible stories, metaphysical stories. This could be anything, like, I'm looking at all, oh yeah, this is a perfect book for it. Like Awakening Shakti, like these kind of stories about the gods and goddesses. Like, so it's about reading these stories, and it's about learning more about some of these storytellers, and some more of these characters within stories. But um, it's also about your story, whether you're writing your story because you have momentum with that, whether even if it's just in a journal. But there's a lot of momentum behind that kind of information of, like, what is my story? What I actually said, because of the Virgo energy, we are in Virgo Sun month, is what stories are we telling? Are they factual? like, are they really true about us? So with Jupiter being in Aries, we've done some exploration of the self, hopefully, since it went into Aries in May. And and really figuring out like, who am I? Like, I started thinking about doing these videos and really sharing astrology from a different perspective and from a broader picture. Um, but really thinking about like analyzing, that's the word I want to use with Virgo. What stories am I spreading? What's actually coming out of my mouth? Um, this is a good thing because it's an opposition. I always think about checking in with others on what is it that you actually are hearing me say, and is it lining up with what I want to be heard saying? That's actually what I'm thinking. This is going to be a great time. We're going to go back and forth on this a couple times during Mercury retrograde, and I'll talk more about this. Oh no, it actually is in play. So this first Mercury opposite Jupiter is going to be in play from basically September 2nd, or even leading up to September 2nd, so a few days before, and then also staying in orb, like the degrees will be in orb till September 18th. So we again have like a 2-week period here to really examine our storyteller. What stories do I want to share? What stories do I want to learn more about, because I want to increase their visibility within my teaching or within my life? This is also a good teaching component. Like, what is it that I really want to teach, which goes along with what story am I sharing with the world about myself or my skill set? I just got the hit of like, this is a great time to really update your resume, your CV, all that kind of information. I don't know, your LinkedIn profile, which I don't have. But a really great time to like look at the story that you are presenting to the world of who you are. And if it is a little bit inaccurate or isn't really sharing all your gifts, guess what? Now's the time. Change that story, get it in there, talk about what it is that you are passionate about and here to share. We still have Venus and Leo right here. So please let her, um, you know, show her passion for what it is that she loves to do so that others can really get to know what it is that you do. So these are things that we're going to review during Mercury retrograde. It'll come back around on October 11th. So, play with your storyteller and see where your storyteller ends up during the Mercury retrograde period. The other thing that happens this week is on September 4th. It is September 4th, but I just have the wrong time. We're going to see Venus move into Virgo. So Venus, this is not her favorite spot. She's actually in her detriment in Virgo. And that means that she, I think I talked about this in the overview, she loves to be social. She likes to be with other people. She likes to be contributing. And Virgo tends to be a little bit more withdrawn and a little bit more of an observer. So this isn't her favorite social placement, but it is a good opportunity for her to discern. Again, this might be helpful in the storyteller situation of like, broadcasting your story all over, and she might help refine it a little bit. Virgo is a refiner. It's a discerner. It's a discriminating energy, that meaning that it really looks at what the energy is that it's putting out there, and is it appropriate? Is it, we want to make sure that she doesn't take away from like your gifts to share, but she's also there to help keep things a little bit humble. After she's come out of Venus and Leo, or maybe we got a little bit non-humble for a little bit. So this might be really helpful to rein it back in a little bit. This could also be really helpful in refining your diet and really looking at what it is you're putting in your mouth for the next few weeks, which is what the sun is also asking. But between Sun and Venus being in there, this will be a really great time to look at your health. How am I taking care of my health? What am I eating? What do I need to take out? What do I need to add in? It's also as a time as the seasons are changing, right? The mornings are getting a little bit colder, the nights are getting a little colder, the days are getting a little shorter. So we want to pay attention to, what does my body need? It's also usually a time of year, like Ayurvedically, where we dry out a little bit more because of the cold coming back in. And so hydration is something to pay attention to. So I guess I have 2 tips for the week, and that would be, one would be hydration, really paying attention to like, what am I putting in my body so that I can have best output of my energy. And the other one is, this is because of all this Mars energy and all this fire and air that I've been talking about in this video. Move your body. It's a big deal this week. I think moving your body is really going to help your brain a lot. It's going to help that storyteller. One thing that I have taught a few clients now is on our phone, we have an app called Voice Memos. Now you can use any app. I have also used otter.ai. There's all kinds of apps, obviously. Voice Memos comes on your phone. So if you're going for a walk with a dog or a hike or, something where you can hold your phone and also speak out loud your story, speak out loud your ideas, and then record it so that you don't come home and be like, what were all those things I was thinking about again? Maybe that's just me that does that. But in case you do that too, then this is a really good time frame. That would be my biggest tip is get that information down somewhere. Voice memos is great for recording and re-listening to. Otter.ai actually transcripts it for you. So it turns it into language. So you can like email it to yourself and you can read it or whatever it is. So I had a friend who had this energy really strong in her chart, or a client, and I said to her, I said, okay, when you go for your walks, you need to just put that voice memo on, or put that, that app that transcribes on, because she was trying to write a book. And I was like, okay, you need to move as you're thinking, because just sitting in the chair and like committing to typing is you're a little stagnant right now with this energy. So let's get you moving, but also being able to communicate at the same time. So that is my big tips for the week. Hope this week goes well for you, and I will talk to you next week.